Hi, Andrew Coates, owner and co-founder of Salt Studios here. So today I just want to talk about using drones at your wedding. Hi, so I've been out and about today doing a lot of drone work for a client, and just got me thinking about using drones at weddings nowadays. As a photographer, I don't actually use mine that much at a wedding. I've used it a couple of times, once for a big group photo when I was in a really sort of tight spot and I couldn't get far enough back to be able to get the whole group in. So I could just chuck the drone up and get that sort of big group photo in front of the church just after the ceremony. The downside with that is it does take quite a lot of time to set up. The drone, you've got to get it out, you've got to calibrate things, you've got to make sure you're actually allowed to fly it in the area. There's some quite strict regulations around that, as where you can and can't fly the drones. So that's something that as a photographer I need to take into consideration before to go and check the location, check on my little app that I've got from Casa that makes sure I'm allowed to actually fly the drone in the area. But generally it does take a lot of time to set up. So the first, as I said, that time I used it to get a big group shot in front of the church where I didn't have many other options. The other time I've used it was up at the Bunya Mountains. So where it actually worked out really well. There was some spectacular views. We could really make the most of the location there. But for those sort of shots, it was more about the setting and about the views and the mountains, and just it was such an amazing afternoon. The bride and groom were actually very small in the shot with this beautiful landscape behind them. So that can work for drones, but again, it is very location dependent to make sure it's going to be a spectacular place to actually use the drone and to get the best out of it. So generally, with the big group photos in front of the church, like I mentioned before, I just take a step ladder with me. A lot quicker and easier than setting the drone up. Not as much fun, but yeah, a lot quicker and easier. So something to definitely talk to your photographer about. One purpose for drones, one of the really good ones, is videographers can use them really, really well. They get beautiful steady shots. You can get in close and come back to the setting of the location. They can be a little bit noisy through the ceremony, so it's something usually during the photos or in your establishing shots early in the day that the videographer can use. But it's definitely something to talk about with your photographer and videographer, just to see how drones can be used, whether they need to be used, and to be able to get the best out of them. So as always, our social channels, Instagram, Facebook, website, email, always happy to help with any questions. Oh, it's windy out here. Any questions that you have.